There is a guy who tried to quit smoking 40 separate times. He used the patches, the gum, the apps. He had the plans and as much raw willpower as anyone. But every single morning of every single attempt, he woke up, looked in the mirror, and told himself the exact same quiet thing: I am trying to quit. Why did two people with the same plan and the same grit end up in completely different places? One locks into the new habit for good, and the other ends up right back where they started. The difference between lasting change and relapse comes down to the underlying lens through which we view the change itself. The standard story is that habits run on willpower. We treat discipline like a muscle you flex until it gives out. Just stay strong, white-knuckle it to a 66-day finish line, and then you're free. But when you watch people who lean on that, the pattern is brutal. They do great for about 3 weeks while the motivation is high. Then the newness drains out, and they're left trying to force a behavior their own sense of self never actually signed off on. This chart shows research from Philippa Lally, who tracked how long it actually takes for a new daily behavior to feel automatic. People expect the habit to set at these expected milestones, like day 21 or 66, but the data scales outward. The spread takes anywhere from 18 days for some, all the way to 254 days for others. That's a 14-fold difference. If you are white-knuckling a habit and expect freedom at day 21, but your particular behavior needs 200 days, you will quit somewhere in the middle and decide you're defective. You aren't defective. Relying on raw effort is a high-risk strategy because it requires an exhaustible fuel to cross a distance that is impossible to predict. The alternative to the willpower model is self-perception. Psychologists have found that you don't sit in a control room and decide who you are. You infer it. Your brain watches what you do, the same way you'd guess a stranger's personality by observing them. Every action is a vote for the person you wish to become. Go for a run? Your brain notes, we're a runner now. As votes pile up into a self-image, it decides what you do on autopilot. The behavior generates itself. A 2010 review of 40 separate studies confirmed this signal. It found that a person's sense of identity predicted their behavior, even after accounting for social pressure and their own stated intentions. Who you believe you are fills the gap that willpower can't reach. Grit doesn't build lasting habits. Your behavior is the result of the slow, quiet election you're running inside your head every day. Discipline often fails because habits are triggered by cues that fire faster than thought. If you fight an automatic behavior with conscious willpower, you're bringing the slowest tool you own to a fight that was over before you showed up. But an identity-based approach can bypass this trigger. Vanessa Patrick and Henrik Hagtvedt tested this by giving people 2 different ways to handle temptation. In a choice between snacks, one group practiced saying, I can't eat that. The other said, I don't eat that. Only 39% of the I can't group chose the healthy option, versus 64% for the I don't group. I can't is the language of restriction. It implies there is an external rule you'd love to break, putting you at war with yourself. I don't is the language of identity. It's just a fact about who you are, like saying, I don't run red lights. There is no negotiation because the candy bar simply isn't yours to consider. Willpower fights the craving, but identity can make the craving irrelevant. To use this, you have to flip the traditional order. Don't chase the outcome, like losing 20 pounds or writing a book. Those have built-in expiration dates. Instead, decide who you are and let the behavior fall out of that. Start with a present tense identity sentence. Not, I'm trying to be a reader, but I am a reader. Then cast a vote that proves it. Make it small enough that you cannot miss. Don't read a chapter, read 1 paragraph. You aren't trying to finish the book today. You are just handing your brain one piece of evidence that the sentence is true. The final step is connecting that behavior to a value you care about. Research shows that spelling out why a behavior matters to your core values makes your brain defend it as not a chore. Repetition builds the habit, but connecting to your values is what binds that behavior to your identity. This is what finally changed for the man who tried to quit smoking 40 times. On his successful attempt, he didn't suddenly grow more discipline. He just changed the sentence in the mirror. He stopped saying, I'm trying to quit, and started saying, I'm not a smoker. He took a deep, relaxed breath. When he was offered a cigarette, he didn't have to win a fight against an urge. He just said, no thanks, I don't smoke, because the man saying it genuinely wasn't a smoker anymore. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of who you believe you are. Cast the vote for that person today.